So today I will be speaking about abortion. Many many Americans faces the most emotional and controversial decision whether or not to have an abortion. An abortion it is a a issue very controversial here in America politics. It is involved freedom, morals, and even the government. The government is divided by, well, it has different parties, but it's mostly divided by two major parties, which is the Republicans and the Democrats. They both have different controversial perspectives. They're totally opposite from one another. Um, Today I will be speaking about the procedures of abortions. There's three most common ones. Also the Republicans' point of view, and then lastly the Democrats' point of view. It is important to understand the point of views due to the abortion policy. It's very affects us all of us, including healthcare decisions, even elections across the country. Um, what is a what's abortion? An abortion is a procedure that happens to end a pregnancy. There are different procedures, like I said, depending how long or far you are from pregnant, and also the medical history if there's any medical issues. The first one would be the medication abortion, which is typically happens during the first stage of pregnancy. It is a pill, and it's often done at home with medical guidance. And patients are normal or back to their activities within 1 or 2 days. It's very effective, and like I said, it's only effective when it happens in the early stages, which is very important. The second one would be the aspiration abortion, which is the vacuum vacuum abortion, also called. This happens during the first trimester, and it's a gentle suction that happens to remove the pregnancy from the uterus, and it's also very effective. And the chances of having infection or heavy bleeding are very rare, and this is only done in a clinic. The third would be, it's called DE, and it's an abortion that only happens in specialized clinics. Mostly it's done in a hospital, and this is done in the second trimester. This procedure is common only when it's a medical issue. Um, this procedure takes a little bit longer than the other ones. This happens between 1 or 2 sessions, and like I said, this is mostly common only when it's a medical issue, and patients are back to normal or their activities in a few days. Now I have spoken about the procedure of different abortions, and now I'm gonna speak about the Republicans' point of view. The Republicans' point of view is that they are pro-life, meaning that the government is responsible to protect the child, even if it's not born yet. It could also be limiting the individual's choice. In 14 states, it's already banned to have an abortion, and 27 are partial banned. The government decides. Well, each state decides whether or not abortion is banned. Like I said, the Republicans, they are pro-life, and sometimes, well, they believe that having the child, and if whatever circumstances, giving it to an adoption. And then lastly would be the Democrats. The Democrats are pro-choice, and they're pro-choice, and they believe that the individual has the right to whether or not to have the abortion. It is important they believe that it's important because it's a freedom choice, and they also believe that it's a personal choice. They believe that the person who is pregnant should be considered yes or no to have the child, not the government or the state. In conclusion, I want to say I spoke about the procedures of abortion. I spoke about the Republicans' point of view, and then lastly, I spoke about the Democrats' point of view, how they're either pro-choice or pro-life. It is important to know and to understand the perspective of each party due to it affects the healthcare, and it's very important during elections, and it's good to know which the different parties' perspective of each. Um, it's okay to have, well, finally, it's okay to have different beliefs, different personal belief, and it's very good to know for national debates and knowing with knowledge and respect and also with clarity. Thank you.